Welcome to Living Magically. This is Michelle Orwick, your host, and this is our weekly broadcast where we talk about what's happening in the energy field. This week, starting June 10th, we have quite a interesting lineup and also a little bit of a break. And by break, I don't mean we're going to have a complete pause in energy, but it does mean that we don't have so many things going on astrologically. However, we do have some really powerful solar storms coming in that has been affecting the planet, has been affecting our body, and has been affecting our energy fields. So the thing I want to say is we're in a magical month, so strap on and get ready for the ride. First off, we have something that happened just yesterday, which is that Mars just entered Taurus for a little while. And that is going to bring us a more grounded situation in the middle of a very, very powerful Gemini season. So we're deep in Gemini season, which the planet loves to be here at this midsummer point. So for half the planet, it is getting really close to midsummer. The days are really, really long. The nights are really, really short. And the veil between the worlds is very, very thin. Magic is ready to happen. And it is a Gemini season, which means that the sun is in Gemini. Gemini is a air sign. That air sign is bringing in a lot of clarity. It comes in with communication. Gemini rules things like transportation, communication, duality a little bit. And yet we're getting closer and closer to that summer solstice, which is the beginning of Cancer season. We've got about 2 weeks till that happens. And in that time frame, the moon is growing larger in the sky. We just passed the new moon. And so you'll see that fairy moon, sort of half moon in the sky right now. And that means we've got that growing moon energy, which is really good. It's high growth season. This is time, you've probably already planted your seeds. This is time, especially with this Gemini and Taurus, to build the solid structure, foundations for your life, your business, your relationships. You know, this is time to actually think about practical matters because you've got this mind thing going on with the Gemini. You have a lot of planets in Gemini. You've got Venus in Gemini, and Jupiter is in Gemini for a whole year. So things like communication are going to expand. This is perhaps one of the best weeks to communicate with the people you love about what you would like to see the relationship develop into. And this means that deep, loving, kind communication where you're actually sharing your goals and dreams. I love this. It's kind of like when I see that there's not a lot of movement, it's a stabilizing effect. Even though it's Gemini, which has that sometimes a little bit of high highs and low lows. If you're in a high high, expect it to stabilize and be able to maintain that calmness within you. And if you're in a low low, also think about it as stabilizing and balancing. So if you're in the high high, the energy right now is stabilizing it. If you're in the low low, it's also stabilizing it. So we come to this place of expansion and growth from a place of rational. And that is such a good thing. We have until the 20th to really feel that moon coming in, getting stronger in the sky, moving forward, allowing us to move forward fearlessly, that ability to really put out there our visualization and our imagination. So think big, think about the next year. Where do you want to be when Jupiter gets to Cancer next year? Where do you want to be at next year's solstice? I always think that the solstice is a perfect time to really manifest the magic of where you're going to be for the next coming months. It's due time. What do you have to do to be in self-actualization? And this means that we've already probably planted the seeds. This is the time of doing. This is the time of speaking it, telling people what you're doing. So sometimes we hold things back and it's a little bit of a secret, and then it's time to share it to the world. Tell them what programs you're running. Tell them what you're dreaming. Tell them that you love them. Tell them maybe there's a secret admirer. You're the secret admirer. Tell them that it's no longer a secret, and share that experience. The other thing I want to encourage you to do with this is create structure. It's very interesting because Gemini does actually like structure, and especially when we have this Mars in Taurus, giving the Gemini structure and allowing it to have a framework. So we're actually building right now. We're making things tangible that we've been planning. We're actually in the doing. So whatever you've been dreaming about, visioning, talking about, talk more, do more, become more. One of the most important things I have ever heard is that your true heart, soul's desire lives inside of you. And if you want to know what your soul's purpose is, get really, really quiet at the midsummer time frame. And this is already here. When I say time frame, I mean like 6 weeks before, from Beltane to Lanasa, from the 1st of May to the 1st of August. Get really quiet with yourself and ask, what do I really desire? What do I truly desire? And then go about self-actualization. Who do I have to be? Who do I have to become? What actions do I have to take? And actually take those actions. It's not a time to just sit and dream, although there is a lot of dreaming available to us right now. This is an incredible time to take action on the desire. Take action on the self-actualization. If there is something you really, really want, and especially with this Jupiter coming in, it's the perfect time to take and do that thing that you have been holding off on. So if there's something that maybe you've put your foot in and then you step back, or you started to do and you want to come back, this is a great time to come back and actually do the thing. Maybe you started it once and it didn't work. Maybe you started it twice and it didn't work. Instead of thinking, oh, it'll never happen for me, check in if there's still a desire for it. And if there isn't a desire, it's the perfect time for letting go. If there was something that maybe you thought you wanted, that you've tried to be working on and it's not working, there's 2 ways to think about this. And of course it's Gemini season, so that makes perfect sense to me. The first way is to check in on a soul level. Get really, really quiet with yourself. In your mind's eye, what is it I truly desire? And if that thing you've been working on that isn't coming to fruition no longer feels aligned with you, it is okay to have put a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of money, maybe you've decorated a house and it no longer suits you, or maybe you've worked on a project or a business and it just isn't feeding your soul. Maybe you're even making a lot of money at it, but it isn't truly making you happy. And there's something else inside of you that is truly going to bring you joy. Do that. It is okay to make a change here. There's really good astrology for making change and or making something happen. So on the other note, if you've tried and tried and tried and it hasn't really come all the way in, think of it as practice for the real deal. And now it's time. If there's truly still a soul aligned desire for it, this would be the time. So I want you to really get clear on that. Is this desire something that you used to want that no longer is part of who you are going forward? And if that is the case, let it go. Whether it's you're successful at it or whether you were never successful at it, if it is no longer aligned to your future desire and self-actualization, it's okay right now to do that letting go process. If you are, however, really attuned to it and you're really in no, this is what I really, really want and I really, really want to, and this is what I desire, it is the absolute most perfect time ever to go for the big dream and to take steps and actions and put your energy towards your true heart's desire. So I realize there's duality in it. It is Gemini season. That's just how it rolls. But that's what's coming up. But also be careful with your energy. If you're feeling fatigue or you don't want to talk to somebody, be careful. Don't put out there anything you don't really want to do. I had an experience today where I'm realizing this on a deep level. If it doesn't feel like you want to do it or it doesn't feel aligned, no is a complete sentence. And I'm going to start taking my own advice on that one. In the meantime, if you are getting excited, this is also a time to get excited. The world is filled with magic, and it will be all the way through the next few weeks. We have the solstice, and what I love about this month's solstice is it'll be bringing us into Cancer season. It's the longest day of the year, but it's also joining up with a full moon. So we're going to have the Sagittarius full moon on the solstice. And so you can be thinking about what you're making come true over those days until the 20th and 21st of June. So that's really summing up the rest of the Gemini season, getting ready for that full moon. It'll be the first days of Cancer that all happens. So that shift is coming. The magic is coming, and it is time for you to feel that living magically moment. And of course, as always, I have something new and fun to share with you. We're going to be trying something new in July. We're going to move my usual Monday classes over to Tuesday night at 7. We've got a fun little renewed class. It's called Psychic Summer School, and it is back to the basics on some wonderful topics, and it's going to have some new material and content. So we're going to be doing that, and I've got a special running just until the 15th. The early bird special is going to end on June 15th. So if this is something you want to start and you want to do Tuesdays in July, back to the basics, psychic summer school. And it's good if you've never done any psychic work all the way to you're a full-on medium, because we're going to do things like touch in with ascended masters and angels and spirit guides, and even find out about your Council of 12. So if you're ready for a little bit of midsummer magic, come share that with me. If you're local to Central Florida, we do have an oils temple coming up on Thursday. And of course, I will be doing these videos as a recording for the next couple of weeks, because I will be playing through the magical lands of England and Wales for the next couple of weeks on a spiritual journey that some of my beautiful soul sisters and I are taking. So I'm sure you'll see lots of pictures and things where I'm in England. So I promise to keep these videos coming every Monday for the next couple of weeks, but they will be pre-recorded. And in the meantime, I love you so much. As always, live magically.